शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये अपारकरुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्री चन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्. Hindu Dharma Part 5, the Vedas Chapter 12, the Vedas are infinite. If the cosmos of sound, Shabda Prapancha, enfolds all creation and what is beyond it, it must naturally be immensely vast. However voluminous the Vedas are, one might wonder whether it would be right to claim that they embrace all activities of the universe. Antaha vai Vedaha. The Vedas themselves proclaim so, that the Vedas are endless. We cannot claim that all the Vedas have been revealed to the seers. Only about 1,000 sakhas or recensions belonging to the 4 Vedas have been revealed to them. Brahma, the creator alone, knows the Vedas in their entirety. Before the present Brahma, there was a great deluge, and preceding it, there was another Brahma. And similarly, before him too, there must have been another Brahma. But through all these vast vistas of time, through successive deluges, the vibrations caused by the Paramatman's breath have existed in space. The vibrations that urged the first Brahma to do the work of creation. These vibrations are indestructible. The Brahma who appears after each great deluge performs his function of creation with them. The sounds we produce are never destroyed. I remember reading that what Jesus spoke 2000 years ago could still be recaptured in its own voice, and that efforts are being made for the same. I don't know how far these efforts have succeeded, but I do know that there does exist such a possibility of receiving a voice or sound from the past. We know that a sound, once it is produced, remains in space without ever being destroyed. Brahma created this world with the sound of the Vedas, and this sound is not destroyed even during a great deluge. We build a village or town with stone, earth, timber, iron, etc. All these materials are derived from the will of the Paramatman, from his thought, from the vibrations that are his will or thought. Brahma saw the sounds corresponding to these vibrations as the Vedas, and he chanted them and brought all the world into existence. We often see reports in the newspapers of trees flowering or fruiting in abundance in response to the vibrations of certain sounds. Some vibrations have also the effect of stunning the growth of plants. Here is proof of the fact that the sound can create, sustain and destroy. Brahma could create the universe with the sound of the Vedas because of his power of concentration. A Siddha can cure a sick man if he intones the Panchakshara mantra, the mantra that we mutter every day, and applies holy ashes on the patient's body. He is able to do it because he has greater power of concentration than we have. If the mantra is to be efficacious, it has to be chanted without any tonal error whatsoever. Only then will it bring the desired result. Brahma has the power of concentration to the full, since he has come into being as an instrument for creation. Much could be accomplished from the void of space through electricity. From the spiritual reality called the Nirguna Brahma, the unconditioned Brahman without attributes emanates everything. During the deluge, this spiritual reality goes to sleep. Take the case of a Shandau. When he is asleep, his strength is not evident. But when we see him wrestling with an opponent, we realize how strong he is. Similarly, during the time of creation, the spiritual reality is revealed to perform manifold functions. From the Nirguna Brahman comes a flow of energy to perform such functions. Brahma came into being as a part of this flow. Since he was all tapas, all concentration, he could grasp all the Vedas with his extraordinary power. He created the world with their sound. The Vedas are infinite, and so too creation takes forms that are countless. The great sage Brahadwaja kept chanting the Vedas over 3 lifetimes. Parameshwara appeared before him and said to him, I will grant you a 4th life. What will you do during it? The sage replies, I will keep chanting the Vedas again. It is not possible to learn the Vedas in their entirety even over many lifetimes. Parameshwara took pity on Bharadwaja for all his efforts to accomplish a task that was impossible to accomplish. Waiting to change his mind, Parameshwara caused 3 great mountains to appear, took a handful of earth and said to the sage, the Vedas you have learnt all these years are like this handful of earth. What you have yet to learn is vast, like these mountains. End quote. It is believed that Vedagiri or Tirukkalkundram is the place where the Vedas appeared in the form of these mountains. When I was circumambulating the hill there, people accompanying me intoned Deva Deva Mahadeva in the course of their bhajan. I asked them to instead intone Veda Veda Mahaveda. The story of Bharadwaja occurs in the Kathaka of the Vedas. We learn from it that the Vedas are infinite. The classification into 4 Vedas and the 1000 or so recensions was a later development. As Brahma came into being, his heart was filled with all Vedic sound. The Vedas showed him the way to perform his function of creation. He recognized that the sound of the Vedas pervaded everywhere. To him occur all Vedas. Only some mantras have revealed themselves to the sages, and these constitute the Vedas that are our heritage. At the time of chanting a mantra, we usually mention the rishi associated with it, its chandas or meter, and the name of the deity invoked. In the Telugu country, they mention the 3 for all mantras. The sages learned the mantras with their power of concentration acquired through austerities. They were bestowed with celestial ears so they could hear the mantras in space. It is said in the science of yoga that if our heart space becomes one with the transient outward space, we will be able to listen to the sounds in it. Only those who have attained the state of undifferentiated oneness of all can perceive them. It is in this way that the seers became aware of the mantras and made them known to the world. It must be remembered that they did not create them. They brought us immeasurable blessings by making the mantras known to us. If someone offers us water from the Ganga Tirtha, Ganga Jal, we receive it, prostrating ourselves before him. The man did not, of course, create the Ganga, but all the same, we reverence him in recognition of the fact that he must have travelled 1,000 miles to bring us the few drops of the holy water. We cannot adore the seers sufficiently for their having made us the gift of the mantras, which are beyond the grasp of our ears. This is why, before chanting a mantra, we hold the sacred feet of the rishi concerned with our head. Hari Om Tat Sat.